After a long, tough season in the FIA World Endurance Championship, it all comes down to this. The season finale, the Bapco Energies 8 Hours of Bahrain. There's an end-of-term feel, but the excitement and the anticipation are palpable. The teams and drivers eager to go at it one more time, and there is everything to play for. The drivers and teams and constructors championships up for grabs in Hypercar and LMGT3. There will be no let-up in pressure until the checkered flag flies. Only then will we discover our 2025 champions. For the Porsche Penske team, they would love to bow out in style as their WEC Hypercar program comes to an end. In LMGT3, a tough battle saw the 78 Lexus crew claim the final pole position of the season. They would love to emulate their teammates and take a win in 2025. In Hypercar, Toyota have finally found their form, locking out the front row and taking a 7th consecutive pole here in Bahrain. Here we go for the final time in 2025. 8 hours to decide our titles. Mike Conway closest to the pit wall, pacing the field. Brendan Hartley, his teammate, alongside as we go green for the final time. And through the middle, Loic Duval trying to insert the Peugeot. Big move. Peugeot were on row 2 of the grid. Duval finds the door closed, but now he's having a look in turn 2. Can't quite get through. Brendan Hartley has the lead in the number 8 Toyota. Mike Conway in second. And Will Stevens in Cadillac Hertz Team Jota. He's up to 4th place, splitting the Peugeots already. Wasn't a good start for the Alpines, though. The 2 blue cars are now right at the back of the field. Sweeping down the hill for the first time. Championship battles, all classes. There's the 83 Ferrari right in front of us. Julian Andlauer started 2 rows in front of that car, but had a problem in the opening corners, and there's trouble behind. The 99 Porsche went off, the Proton car. And was that one of the Alpines? In LMGT3, here's the start. Lexus with 2 Mercedes behind. The second Lexus in 4th place, and it was a clean enough start, but the yellow Mercedes should have been alongside the lead Lexus. Dropped right back at the start. Just avoided contact with a sister 61 car. Now there is the view from above, and the second of the Lexus duo trying to get into that battle as well. One Ferrari running off wide and losing ground. It's this one, the 21 Championship challenging car. They lie second in points. Wrestling with the car is the 92 Manthey First Form Porsche. This is our championship leader. Back in the hypercar class, plenty of action going on. This is Kevin Magnussen in the white and blue BMW and Nick Nielsen in the Ferrari. They qualified 10th and 11th. Nielsen goes by for 10th place. They both got ahead of the green Aston Martin of Harry Tincknell, who was 9th on the grid. Magnussen coming back down the straight. You can make a pass into turn 14 and 15, but you often lose momentum, and that's exactly what's happened to the Ferrari. Magnussen coming back hard at him, looking to go around the outside with the BMW. The Ferrari still on the inside, and Magnussen makes it his back into turn 2. There is the number 6 Porsche from Penske, and here comes Harry Tincknell in the Aston Martin. This thing's got prodigious straight line speed, and he drags by Nick Nielsen as behind. One of the Alpines, the second, goes by the number 6 Porsche Penske, or doesn't quite. Down the hill they come. There is Tincknell behind Kevin Magnussen now. We ride on board with Nick Nielsen in the thick of this battle, 10th, 11th and 12th. And he goes around the outside in turn 8. Can the Aston Martin hold on? Not quite. Nielsen moves back up. Well, that seems to have set the tone for the race. Nielsen back down the inside of Magnussen into turn 1. Little lock-up from the BMW. Tincknell is still hovering, and behind him 38. And that's the Hertz Team Toyota Cadillac of Earl Bamber. Anna Oban still leading LMGT3. Then the black car of Martin Berry's got ahead of Andrew Gill. There's a big lock-up behind for Pescio Umbrorescu, and that leaves him under pressure. Right behind is the Mustang of Stefano Gattuso, coming up from 7th on the grid at trouble for the Iron Dames. Looping around, what happened to them? Celia Martin alongside the 54 car of Thomas Floor, and a little harmless spin. Here's our race leading duo. It is Toyota 1-2, as so often it has been here. Peugeot in 3rd, Loic Duval, then the gold car, Will Stevens. Best of the Aston Martins, Marco Sorensen in 6th place. And there is the 83 Ferrari, right behind the championship leading 51 car. The white-nosed Porsche of Julian Andlauer holding on to 9th place. Nicholas Nielsen in the Ferrari trying to come by him. He qualified in 11th place, don't forget, so they were a row apart. Andlauer had a big moment on the curbs in turn 1 on lap 1, lost a couple of places. Nielsen trying to charge up the order. Look how close this gets. Andlauer going all the way onto the dirt to shut the door on the run up to turn 4. Nielsen having a lift out of the throttle there.
Julian, we don't go crazy to defend with this car behind. We don't go crazy to defend with this car behind.
Andlauer's engineer reminding him subtly to look after the tyres. James Cottingham in the orange and black McLaren attacking Thomas Floor. This is LMGT3 battle for 13th place. Tony McIntosh with the yellow nose of the Aston Martin right behind as Cottingham goes through. He and Thomas Floor holding each other up here onto the front straight. Great opportunity for the Aston Martin driver, and he sensed that. He's getting the toe off the Ferrari. He's going down the inside. They're going to be 3 wide into turn 1. You favour maybe the McLaren on the grippy racing line, but the Aston Martin is going deep, deep, deep into the corner. He'll park it on the apex. Does he get the move done? Well, he does, because Thomas Floor now turns his attention to James Cottingham, and through goes the turquoise car of Ryan Hardwick. He had to take avoiding action. Yeah, absolutely. A reaction in the McLaren garage. Battle for 11th place, coming down into turn 1. Harry Tincknell, the green car on the outside. The Aston Martin putting a big move in on Kevin Magnussen's number 15 BMW, and does not quite get it done there, but he really closed on the straight. Magnussen could be in trouble here. James Cottingham's McLaren around the outside of the Ferrari of Thomas Floor again. This time no contact right behind Ryan Hardwick on the left. Celia Martin, the Iron Dames Porsche on the right, his Manthey teammate. Looks like she was going through. Cottingham didn't find a way through. Thomas Floor being very robust in his defence. Manthey First Form still leading the team's championship and drivers title race in LMGT3, but can the McLaren get through? He's on the outside, got a little bump again from Thomas Floor, and James Cottingham dissuaded there, and through comes Celia Martin on the inside. She pounced immediately, saw the contact, saw Cottingham getting eased wide. Once more onto the breach, Nick Nielsen, this time on the inside of Julian Andlauer, just squeezing through the 9th place. Little bump from the Porsche as he went by. Hopefully there'll be no long-term damage either to the Ferrari or to the Porsche. Kevin Magnussen under pressure, and this time Harry Tincknell's got a really good run down the straight. BMW's top speed is good, but can he hang on around the outside of the Aston Martin, or will 007 get through? Mr. Tincknell, we have been expecting you. Through he goes. The yellow Mercedes of Andrew Gilbert under real pressure here. This is for 5th position in LMGT3, and through goes Ian James in the heart of racing Aston Martin. The Aston hasn't had a podium this season, nor has the AMG Mercedes. The Aston is going forwards. Andrew Gilbert, who qualified 2nd, is slipping back. Hypercars in traffic with the yellow rear end. The number 20 BMW of Rene Rast trying to go by the Manthey first form car, who must avoid any contact, and Rast slowed there, and through on the inside goes the Alpine of Ferdi Habsburg. Ryan Hardwick watches them all go by. Aston Martin's in hunter-killer mode on this long front stretch at Bahrain. Harry Tincknell again using that phenomenal top-end speed, drafting by the number 5 car, putting Julian Andlauer down into 11th. Tincknell's in the top 10. In the Porsche on the right-hand side, Lawrence Vantor starting to come alive now. He's nursed his tyres for 40 minutes, making sure they're underneath the car, not stressing them early on. Now he goes ahead of Ferdi Habsburg. He's just past Rene Rast's BMW hypercar. Lead battle in LMGT3 fully joined now. Arnaud Robin in the red and white Lexus, and we're looking back at Martin Berry in the black 61 AMG Mercedes. The Iron Lynx team have worked relentlessly with this car throughout the year. It's come from being an also-ran to a front runner, and Martin Berry, the Australian, could not be more excited with the prospect. Really enjoying this car. With Lawrence Vantor heading towards the end of the first stint of the race, and a move on Kevin Magnussen down into turn 10. Absolutely superb. Magnussen rotating the car, trying to get the traction. Didn't happen for him. Replay of Antonio Giovinazzi downhill, passing Will Stevens for 5th place in the 51 championship leading Ferrari. There is Antonio Giovinazzi pulling away quickly from Will Stevens in the Hertz Team Jota Cadillac, and a huge cloud of smoke in front. Paul Di Resta, what's happened there? Well, what's happened is he's dropped out of 3rd. He's already down to 5th, and the Cadillac of Will Stevens is going to try and push him down to 6th. He's got the 009 Aston Martin right behind him of Marco Sorensen as well, who would like to pounce. Was that a mechanical issue for the Peugeot? Riding on board, let's listen. No, just clumped the curbs on the way into turn 12 and lifted the car off the ground. Big high-speed rotation. First scheduled pit stop for our points leaders in LMGT3. Ryan Hardwick stays in.
The key point is to manage our tyre, we know. So that's what we are doing in the first part of the stint. Then it's going to change with less temperature in the night. So. But let's see, as I said, let's see.
Leader in the pits, number 8 Toyota. And this is going to be a fuel-only stop for the number 8 car. Everybody else changing tyres. Rears on the 83 Ferrari. There's lots of left side only changes, but a number of cars going for rear tyres only. From the lead, the number 7 car from pole position. Mike Conway staying in. Antonio Giovinazzi in the red 51 Ferrari ahead now of Loic Duval in the 94 Peugeot. So this is a change since the pit stops. The Peugeot's down to 4th and 5th. Giovinazzi up to 3rd place, the championship leading driver crew. And this is where it happened, down at the tight right-hander at turn 8. Lead battle in LMGT3. Lynn Hedanius has taken over the 61 Mercedes, and he goes by Clement Schmidt in the Lexus as they head down the hill. 5, 6, he's through. Change of lead for the first time in this race. The pole-sitting Lexus is back in 2nd. Now, not everybody has put higher-graded drivers in. Half the field still have their bronze-graded gentleman drivers in. On board with Harry Tincknell in the Aston Martin. This must be such a good feeling for a driver. You can line up a car ahead of you on the straight and use your advantage to go by them down into turn 1. Ticknell up into 10th, both Aston Martins in the points. Kevin Magnussen once more in the thick of things in the 15 BMW. This is down for 14th place, chasing Earl Bamber's gold Cadillac as they go by the Lexus. On board with Magnussen, big lock up there from Bamber, nearly rammed the LMGT3 car, and Magnussen's found a way through, and he may not be the last to go either, because right behind Fred Makovici in the Alpine with Earl Bamber. So you got Makovici, and then the next car at the back of that train, that's René Rast in the 20 BMW. And this is where the differing tyre strategies change. Bamber's showing his nose, but down the inside, Fred Makovici in the Alpine. Can he get through? He's got the overlap into turn 1 and muscles his way through into turn 2. So he moves up to 15th. René Rast now chasing Earl Bamber and having to take to the hard standing at the side of the track to go around the outside. Bamber giving him just about enough room, but Earl Bamber's lost 3 places in a lap. Whatever they've done with tyres for the Cadillac is not helping Bamber right now. Change of lead coming up. Mike Conway going by the number 8 car of Brendan Hartley. Hartley did not take tyres at the first stop. Conway had a pair of fresh tyres. That car is definitely going quicker. So Toyota splitting their strategy, still trying to work out the best way to attack this race. They've got plenty of time to do it in 6.5 hours, still remaining, more than a standard world endurance race. Lots of fans here watching, and plenty for them to see. On board with Antonio Giovinazzi, and he's attacking Brendan Hartley now. The Ferrari looking to move up to 2nd place. Ferrari looking to seal their first World Championship sports car title since 1972. The drivers weren't born there, most of the engineers weren't even born then, but they are potentially looking at a race win. In the pits, the number 8 car. Toyota with 10 wins in 14 starts here in Bahrain, including 8 consecutive in the last 8 races. Can they do it again?
I think we were the only... Sorry, it's noisy. We were the only ones that did a double, so I kept the tyres. It was the plan going into the race, so the first stint I really tried to look after them. I think what it does is it positions us to have more tyres than everyone at the end.
First round of driver changes underway then. Antonio Giovinazzi handing over the 51 car to Alessandro Pierguidi. Lawrence Vantor out, Kevin Esch in, the defending drivers' champions. And Mike Conway handing over the number 7 car to Nick de Vries from the lead of the race. Everything still to play for, but as it stands, it is going to be Ferrari from Porsche, 1 point ahead of Toyota, the defending manufacturers' champions. Looks like Ferrari have what they need for now. Battle for 3rd place in LMGT3, the yellow Mercedes is Andrew Gilbert. Ian James in the blue Aston Martin right behind. Gilbert a little offline as the Toyota came by, and that will have compromised his speed. It has. And Ian James takes advantage from 8 down to 9. And as they get out of turn 10 onto the back straight, he is already moving away from the Mercedes up into the top 3. Battle for 5th place, the yellow Corvette of Ben Keating. 3rd stint for him. Thomas Floor got out for the 2nd stint, got back in, so he'll have more drive time to do at the end of this one, but Keating will have done his minimum 2 hours and 20 minutes, runs a little bit wide. Driver may be tiring, tyres certainly doing so, and the fresher Thomas Floor moves up into the top 5 in a 54 Ferrari. End of the road for the LMGT3 pole sitters. Arnaud Robin brought the car in, but there is major work going on with the Lexus, unlikely to rejoin. Into the pits from 9th place, Francois Heriot in the 21 Ferrari lying 2nd in the drivers and team standings. He hands over to Alessio Rivera, and Francois Heriot has completed his minimum driving time in the car.
Beginning of the race, I was a bit cautious. I had to manage a lot the tires. I double stint my first set. So the second one is not easy, and compared also to some silver drivers on track and other bronze with fresher tires, I guess the pace was not so bad, and so we are saving as much as we can to try to have something in the pocket for the end of the race.
In comes the number 46 car. Ahmed El-Hati has been in the BMW since the start, and now Valentino Rossi takes over. El-Hati's done his minimum 2 hours 20. So has Ryan Hardwick in the championship leading Porsche. And he hands over to Ricardo Pera, the first of his co-drivers. 59 McLaren in the garage. And some work going on here. Sebastian Boe took it out and then brought it back in again. Robert Kubica making a stop in the 83 Ferrari. This is the Le Mans winning team. They're second in the drivers' standings, but they need a big race here. They've got to be 2 or 3 places ahead of this crew, the 51 team, who lead the drivers' standings. And the 50 car stopping as well. Ferrari using these 2 cars to hopefully win the manufacturer's title. And watching from the garage, Ferrari's president John Elkann. Could this be the year? The first time since 1972. Oh, trouble! The 54 Ferrari of Thomas Floor heavily in the barriers. Floor just ahead of a hypercar battle. The 20 and the 38 in contact as Jenson Button went around the outside. Floor drifted out wide and into the barriers pretty firmly. On board, you hear a big hit there, and an even bigger one there. Jenson Button's view as Sheldon van der Linde goes right, Button goes left, but Floor comes out to the exit as well. Tiny touch, but look in the mirror. The dramatic exit of the race from the 54 Ferrari. Virtual safety car. Thomas Floor is out and okay, but will not take any further part in the race. Lots of cars making pit stops now under virtual safety car, including Alex Riberas and the 009 Aston Martin. They're looking very competitive again here in Bahrain.
We were quite fortunate for the safety car. Obviously, it sucks what happened to the Ferrari. It was a shame to see that, but definitely helped our situation a little bit. We were on the back foot with fuel, still running in the top 5 there, but the others had quite a lot less fuel to put in the next pit stop. So put us back in sequence with the top 5, and I think we can hopefully fight forward from there.
Safety car instructed to go full speed. So this is an indication that next lap will be restarted. Usually safety car lights are off after turn 10. So let's energize and get ready. And like I said, if we're clearly quicker, then car 7 will let us through earlier rather than later due to the offset and strategy.
Back to green in Bahrain, and the Toyota's jumping away, importantly from the 51 Ferrari, because here comes the number 8 car. Sebastian Buemi looking to go by, and the Aston Martin looking to pick up a place as well. And Buemi does go by for the lead without leaving the door open for the Ferrari to follow through. The Aston Martin 009 in 4th place in that safety car queue. The 2 Peugeots battling with a 50 Ferrari that has come right up from a disappointing qualifying. Miguel Molina has just gone by this man, new boy Théo Pourchaire, in his first drive in a hypercar for Peugeot. So Molina has jumped up to 6th position. The 99 white and green Porsche, that's a lap down. That is running last in hypercar, but clearly with fresher tyres. And in fact, with the yellow sidewall medium tyre as the temperature drops. Alex Riberas down the straight. Applause from in the garage. Riberas in the Aston Martin for 2nd place on Nick De Vries. De Vries on older tyres. Fresh mediums for Riberas. Impressive that the Aston Martin is migrating early onto the medium tyre, as early as Toyota. And he's through, up into 2nd place. Porsche new boy Lauren Heinrich in an entertaining battle here for 15th with Sheldon van der Linde's BMW. The youngster doing well. Here is the challenge for the lead from the Aston Martin Valkyrie. From its debut in Qatar, where it was right at the tail of the field, this car has come on in leaps and bounds. And Alex Riberas challenging Sebastian Buemi. Down the hill he goes through.
I think you got faster than me.
In the pit lane, Jenson Button, a 30-second stop-and-go penalty for that contact with Thomas Floor. Might have been a racing incident, but there is a penalty to serve. Approaching the midway point, Aston Martin lead with Toyota second and third, the championship leading Ferrari Crew 51 in fourth, and their closest rivals just 2 places behind. Peugeot's star appears to have waned, and Porsche are having a shocker. In LMGT3, the Akotis Lexus out front from the Iron Lynx Mercedes and the heart of racing Aston. Manthey first form, having a great run to fourth place with the 92 points leading Porsche. Into the thick of the action is the 92 car, reaching Leeds and diving by Ian James for third place. Attack clearly being the best part of defence. Ryan Hardwick watching on as his teammate moves up again, but Ian James comes right back at him. The Heart of Racing team boss looking after the driving duties in this car and also his team running the hypercar, but Leeds swaps back once more. He wants to race, but he has to bear in mind that this 92 car must finish in the points to guarantee the championship title from the 21 Ferrari and the 81 Corvette, its only challengers. Jenson Button out of the 38 Cadillac. Now, is that his final drive as a professional? This will be his last pro race. And using a helmet livery designed by his dad when he was a kid in karting. Back into LMGT3 and contact. 21 Ferrari and the 33 Corvette, our race winner in Qatar, turning around on the nose of the championship challenging Ferrari. So Johnny Edgar and Simon Mann coming to blows. Here's how Mann on the curbs and couldn't get it stopped in time. That loss of traction in corner 7.
Tires are really good. Rear axle feels more stable now. Everything feels fine.
Perfect, copy.
Ribeiras drive-through penalty from the lead for virtual safety car infringements. So still some operational errors coming in. And that leaves Toyota back first and second, 8 ahead of 7. In from fourth, the 007 Aston Martin. Ross Gunn aboard, the fastest man of all in qualifying. Didn't quite convert it into pole position. So he made a mistake. LMGT3 battle for 9th place. Bernardo Souza defending in the white-nosed Mustang. Goes in too deep, runs in wide. And Valentino Rossi pounces in the 46 BMW. Through as well goes the delayed McLaren of Sebastian Boe. He's down in 16th place. You can see the lack of traction there in the Mustang. Valentino Rossi's BMW into the pit lane, number 46 car. Right behind it is this car, Ben Barker being strapped in by Bernardo Souza, taking over in the 77 Mustang. So fuel and tyres all round. Rossi stays in, but it's a much quicker stop by the Mustang team. They come out quite comfortably in front. A big loss of time in the pit lane for 46. Top of the screen coming down the straight is the battle in hypercar between Mick Schumacher, who goes defensive, and Sheldon van der Linde in the BMW, trying to sweep around the outside. Goes too wide, can't grab 8th. On the straight, Ferrari versus Porsche, and for the last time for the meantime, as Penske Porsche wind up their WC program, Antonio Fuoco going around the outside of the number 6 car of Matt Campbell. That's a change for 8th. Campbell coming back at the Ferrari at the top of the hill, turn 4. They drop down again once more into 5. This is going to be very close between the two. Clean, precise racing from these professional drivers. Fantastic wheel-to-wheel action all the way through the field. Into the pit lane comes the race lead number 8 Toyota. Lead battle in LMGT3, Lynn Hedanius in the black Mercedes and Clement Schmidt in the Lexus. And this is a replay of where they were in the second stint of the race when Hodanius took the lead from Clement Schmidt. Schmidt now repaying that as he goes back in front. In the pits from the lead is the 83 Ferrari. Yefei stays in. Now they benefited a little from the virtual safety car period. They're dragging themselves back into contention. Théo Pourchaire on the right hand side takes the lead now for the first time in his hypercar career in the Peugeot. Drive-through penalty for the number 8 Toyota and for the 46 BMW for passing under yellow flags. So Ryo Hirakawa has to come through the pit lane, and Valentino Rossi will need to do so as well. And that is going to potentially put the number 8 Toyota out of the frame. Number 7 Toyota, however, on the attack, passing Théo Pourchaire, Kamui Kobayashi to take the lead of the race again for Toyota on a slightly different strategy to the Peugeot. Riding on board with Ross Gunn, Aston Martin 007, another target in front, and this is the number 6 Porsche Penske 963, out of corner 14, 15, and down the straight. Again with good speed, the Porsche coming back at him. There's a Peugeot in front, but Gunn finds his way through. Up ahead of Matt Campbell to 5th position. Kevin Est watching Porsche Penske having a fairly disappointing final run here. Meanwhile, Ross Gunn having a very good race as he goes by Paul di Resta for 4th place. Ahead of the second of the 2 Peugeots, Théo Pourchaire still in 2nd place. Antonio Fuoco 3rd in the 50 Ferrari. But the Aston Martin really flying here. What about Ferrari's title race hopes? James Collado on the attack in the 51 car, the points leaders in the Drivers' Championship battle. Down the inside of Matt Campbell, and right in front of him is Paul di Resta's Peugeot. So he's now going to try and do exactly what Ross Gunn did. Lawrence Vanthoor, end of his hypercar career for the moment with Porsche Penske Motorsport. Last year winning the Drivers' Championship title. This year, less luck. James Collado ahead of di Resta. And Paul showing us the view of compatriot James. In LMGT3, another 21-33 battle. We've been here before, haven't we? This is Johnny Edgar and Simon Mann once more. They came to blows and both half spun the last time they were this close. This time a little cleaner. Battle for 7th place. Still the 21 car too far behind the 92 Porsche to take the title away. They need to have a big turnaround in fortunes. Riding with James Collado, chasing Ross Gunn. Ferrari versus Aston Martin, and Collado straight down the inside. He loves that move into turn 8. Does it all the time, and it's worked really well again. So James Collado up to 3rd place now in the 51 car. 50 has just pitted. There's your race leader, Kamui Kobayashi. And there's a pit stop cycle through. Collado's Ferrari in 2nd. Ross Gunn, Alex Riberas 3rd and 4th for Aston Martin. Could Aston round out their first season with a podium? Norman Nato chasing for 7th place. In front of him, Jules Gounon in the 36 Alpine. Oh, and a big tail slide there. The Alpine not at all happy under acceleration. No grip left for Gounon. And that was like taking candy off a baby. Waiting for a driver change here at Aston Martin. Ross Gunn hits his marks, and he will step out of 007. Harry Tincknell taking over. Looking forward to another stint, I'm sure.
I think the track is obviously very high in degradation, and it seems that we're looking after the tyres better than some of our competitors. But yeah, we've just, throughout the year, been gradually improving. I think as qualifying showed yesterday, getting 2 cars into Hyperpole for the first time was a really good step. And yeah, I had fun out there. You know, that was what we're here for, is to have fun, and really enjoyed my stint.
Third place battle, the Peugeot, Malte Jakobsen, the white car behind, Antonio Fuoco in the red Ferrari as they go either side of two LMGT3 cars, and Ryo Hirakawa, the black Toyota, follows through, and that gives the Mustang a chance to try and pass the Mercedes in their wake. Look at this, that's what happens when you try and go around cars on the outside.
Okay, Dio, these tires now only need to do the rest of this stint. You can open Tango if you want, if it'll help.
Open Tango, open traction control, so that means he'll have more power available. Malte Jakobsen doing a sterling job in defence. He's been holding off Antonio Fuoco's Ferrari for a long while, but Fuoco just getting through into turn 5. Jakobsen can't quite hold him off. He's going to have to give that one away because he'll have to worry now about Ryo Hirakawa's Toyota right behind. Hirakawa outside. Not going to work for him here. Can he cut back underneath the Peugeot? Malte Jakobsen keeping the car firmly in the middle of the road, but this time he drifts a little wide. The Mustang is going to box him in. Hirakawa's going to try and shut the door. Malte Jakobsen squeezes his way back in front, and the Peugeot's top end speed is almost enough. Not quite. Ryo Hirakawa finally makes it through. Well, brilliant defensive driving from Malte Jakobsen in a Peugeot that is on tired tyres, and he really gave a good account of himself. Manthey first form, still leading the Drivers' Championship and the team standings in LMGT3, and the 92 Porsche in a podium position as well, chasing down the Mercedes. Oh, a mistake by Ryo Hirakawa. James Collado will pounce here. This is for third place for the 51 Ferrari. Hirakawa running just a little hot down into 14 and 15. Collado's on the inside. This will be battle of bravery under braking, but Collado covered the corner. Collado up to third for Ferrari. Driver change round of pit stops now for LMGT3. Clement Schmidt has brought in the Lexus from the lead. Then Hedanius moves up in the 61 car. There is Schmidt. 46 on its way. Valentino Rossi has stepped out.
We know that it's difficult in this track, and we suffer a little bit. We are not very fast, and also. Our teammates were better than us, so they make a better job. Congratulations to them. But sincerely, we don't know what we can do more than this.
Great run for the Mercedes. Maxime Martin in the 61 car, and for the 92 Porsche. Really strong title-winning run at the moment. Ricardo Pera heads back out into the battle. And so far, their luck has held. They need just to avoid unmitigated disaster to clinch the titles in LMGT3. And right now, they're doing everything correctly. So too is the Lexus crew. Toyota's premium brand leading in LMGT3 as Toyota leads in Hypercar. It's been a really good run so far for both Aston Martins, but at the expense of tyre life, they have used more tyres than their rivals, and now in the final 90 minutes, that is going to come back to haunt them. On board with Nick Nielsen, another battle in traffic as he goes around the number 20 BMW, and this is for position. The 20 car again on a slightly different strategy, a long way up the order from where its race pace and qualifying pace should have suggested. Nielsen goes by in the Ferrari. Ferrari currently with cars in the top 4. AF Corsa leading, the 83 car Robert Kubica for how long? Here comes Nick De Vries down the inside. De Vries struggled in his first stint in the car on old tyres. Now though, he's got fresh rubber, and boy, what a difference. Whoa, big moment for the 38 Cadillac. What happened there? Just a big looping spin. It all went quiet as the rear locked up. In the pits, the 83 Ferrari. I think their hopes of a title rest on disaster for 51. Robert Kubica will not give up. LMGT3 battle. 31 BMW in 5th place for the moment, but contact, a late lunge in the 33 car. BMW closing the door down at turn 10. Well, Danny Hunkadea on the inside, Augusto Farfus absolutely slammed the door shut in his face. And Hunkadea goes by this time, and that was a little cleaner. Gives the BMW driver the bird. Augusto Farfus, that's the second time this season. He was shown that signal by another Corvette driver in the Daytona 24 Hours. Last stint for Porsche Penske Motorsport for Lawrence Vantor, and Kevin Estre gets back into the car. All of the crew, including Roger Penske, signed the cars before the race. It's the final hurrah for this Porsche episode. Away they go. Final hour of the race, final hour of the season, and this is probably the final pit stop for the Porsche Penske team. For the moment, it's adieu. Jenson Button back in. He'll do the last stint in the 38 Jota Cadillac. His final as a professional driver, in trouble for 15. The BMW has come to a halt. Right rear corner looks broken.
I think my tire came off. My tire came off. I can't move anymore.
It's worse than that, Jim. It's the entire rear corner has collapsed. Right on board. Did nothing wrong, hit nothing. The suspension has collapsed, and that's led to the puncture. Well, Van Sant Vos with lots to think about. Updated BMW coming next year in Hypercar, and they'll need to work in LMGT3. Virtual safety car means free pit stops for everybody. And the 21 Ferrari taking advantage. So too the 92 Porsche. They come in as the leaders in LMGT3. Ricardo Pera putting in Richie Leitz. This the crew, don't forget, that won the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Back to green we go, riding on board with Alessandro Pierguidi. Toyota 1-2, Ferrari 3-4-5 with the Aston Martin 009 in 6th position. What a race this has been so far. Toyota back to their best in Bahrain, leading first and second, Ferrari 3-4-5. And here's the battle for second, third in LMGT3. And it looks as though the Aston Martin has got by Mattia Drudi, the first car down the hill there, then the turquoise car of Richie Leitz, and he loses another spot as the Iron Lynx Mercedes moves up to third. On board with Nicolas Nielsen, the 50 Ferrari, chasing the 83 car. 30 minutes to go. And at the moment, 83 will be second in the driver's standings behind the 51 car, but the 6 Porsche crew will retain third place. Battle for second in LMGT3, and the Aston Martin Hypercar down the inside of Mattia Drudi's LMGT3 Aston, the blue car, and it held him offline. And here's the chance for Maxime Martin. Had to come very tight off turn 10, couldn't pick up the throttle quite quickly enough, and Mattia Drudi, he's probably not breathing easy yet, but just survives there, and ironically, nearly the Aston Martin Hypercar denying the Aston Martin LMGT3 car second place. Battle for fourth place in Hypercar, the 83 Ferrari on the inside, the 50 car of Nick Nielsen goes around the outside of Robert Kubica, who fights hard for the position, but it looks as though the 50 car might have a slight tyre advantage at this stage of the race. Kubica comes back at him. This is not a team orders pass. This is Nielsen trying to move up the order and succeeding. John Elkann watching in the cap. The president of Ferrari. 33 Corvette versus 21 Ferrari, episode 3. Danny Hunkadea at this stage in the 33 Corvette though, and Alessio Rivera has got a run on him down the back straight. Can he squeeze through into turn 11? He does, and without contact. Simon Mann and Johnny Egger have come to blows a couple of times in these cars in similar battles. Ricky Pera with everything crossed. Ryan Hardwick looking relatively relaxed. Manthey first form, less than 20 minutes away from the titles as drivers and teams champions. The Le Mans winners. What a season it has been. Ferrari leading the manufacturer's crown. Toyota now moving up to second as Porsche's fortunes have slumped. Neither Porsche scoring here. The 51 Ferrari in third place on the podium, heading towards the driver's title. LMGT3, the leader is the Lexus, but the Aston Martin and Mattia Drudi reeling in our leader hand over fist. Jose Maria Lopez has got 12 minutes to survive, and he might not do that. Drudi clearly with the quicker car right now. Lopez will fight tooth and nail. Little lock up from the number 12 Cadillac. Just gone by the 83 Ferrari, but Kubica retakes the place. Jose Maria Lopez still clinging on. 10 minutes to go. Mattia Drudi is now in full contact with the Lexus, and more importantly, Lexus on much older tyres on one side of the car, so a big advantage for Mattia Drudi in the Aston Martin. 92 Manthey first form Porsche, the turquoise car, with a battle for 8th place in Hypercar going by. Contact there. Little touch from Malte Jakobsen Peugeot. And this was a fraction earlier. Oh my goodness. Nearly got speared off by the Alpine. That was so close to disaster for the 92 crew. They have survived. And here's the battle for second place. The Mercedes going by Mattia Drudi, and that is a blessed relief for Jose Maria Lopez. Inside the final 5 minutes, the Lexus has escaped. And this is how it happened on board with Maxime Martin out of turn 10, got the run on Mattia Drudi and made the pass into 11. Inside the final 4 minutes of the season, the number 50 Ferrari closing on 51.
Okay, allez, we will swap turn 1 next lap. The next turn 1, we swap with 50.
And if 50 moves up into the top 3, they will also move into third place in the driver's standings. Look at the emotion in the Ferrari garage. Currently Kevin Estre, Lawrence Vanthoor third, no longer, as Nick Nielsen passes 51. 51 will still be drivers' champions, 83 still second, but the 50 crew will be third. Last lap of the season, the checkered flag awaits. A standout performance from Nick de Vries and from the whole Toyota crew. After a wretched season, they finish 1-2, their 11th win in Bahrain, their 9th consecutive. Phenomenal stuff from Toyota Gazoo Racing. Final hurrah for the car as it's updated for next season. It ends up as a winner. But last year's manufacturers' champions cannot repeat. This time it is Ferrari, third and fourth, more than enough points to take the manufacturer's crown. Ferrari are sports car world champions for the first time in 53 years. And they sweep the top 3 in the drivers' standings as well.
You made a great job all the season. You are the champions of the world.
Alessandro Pierguidi and that man Antonio Giovinazzi, incredibly the first Italians to become the outright world sports car champions. James Collado, Alessandro Pierguidi, together their 4th world championship, 3 in GTE Pro, and a first outright for the 3. Lexus win in LMGT3. It was close, but Jose Maria Lopez held on. The team's 2nd victory of this season, the first for the 87 car, but the title, teams and drivers, for the 92 Manthey first form Porsche crew. Ryan Hardwick, Ricardo Pera and Richie Leitz, they win Le Mans, they win the championship. The champions in LMGT3. Manthey first form. Manthey took last year's title and they have taken it again with a different crew and drivers. Ferrari, the manufacturers' champions. Toyota pipping Porsche at the last gasp with Cadillac in 4th place. And there is a moment to savour for everyone in the team.
You know, the first thing I did was look at my kids, even before the race finished, and I was almost in tears. They're here with me, my family, they hardly ever come, so it's amazing to get the victory, world champion for the 4th time. And of course the first time in the top class, so what an achievement.
Congratulations, congratulations.
Run out of words, and why not? Toyota 1-2, Ferrari 3-4-5, the better of the Cadillacs in 6th position. And promising runs from the likes of Peugeot and Aston Martin. The Coda's winning in LMGT3 from the Iron Lynx Mercedes, their best result of the season. And the Harter Racing team completing the podium. A dramatic and tense end to a dramatic and action-packed season. Once again, the World Endurance Championship has thrilled at every turn. To the winners, the spoils, and a chance to enjoy a moment of glory again. Toyota truly are the kings of Bahrain. In 14 starts here, they have only failed to win 3 times. But we have new world champions. Ferrari have swept the titles, top 3 in the drivers, and they are the manufacturers' champions for the first time since 1972. What a season.